All right, so today we are doing a deep dive into something truly fascinating, like how a single word can completely change the way you see things.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're looking at this social media account, Laplace's Demon, and they have this amazing way of breaking down these complex, kind of brainy topics. You've
Yeah, I've seen them. They like take neuroscience, psychoneuroimmunology, and make it something everyone can get.
Exactly. And it's like practical too. And so this post we found, it's all about the power of saying yet.
Yeah, okay, I'm curious.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't think one word could do that much, right?
No, not really.
But the science behind it is pretty powerful. And it's all about this idea that it all starts with the difference between I can't do this versus I can't do this yet.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Right. So imagine you're trying to do something new, like, and you hit a wall, and if you think that wall is just like solid and you can't get past it, chances are you're going to just give up.
Yeah, most likely.
But what if you knew there might be a way through, a way around, maybe even over the wall, right? But you just haven't figured it out yet.
That's a much more hopeful way of looking at it.
Right. That's what yet does. It like transforms this impossible obstacle into a challenge, one that you could eventually overcome.
It's like you're not closing the door on the possibility. You're just saying, not right now.
Exactly. So instead of like getting dismissed, you're kind of like fired up. Like, okay, I can't do this yet. So how do I get there? But there's actually something really interesting happening in our brains too when we add that word.
Oh, absolutely. And when we say, like you said, I can't do this, it sounds so final.
Right.
Our brains interpret that as like the end of the story, like a done deal, you know? And it kind of pushes us into this fixed mindset. Like we believe our abilities are just set in stone, we can't change. But when we add yet, it's like suddenly the story's not over. It's like the chapter's still being written.
Right. I love that analogy.
So it reframes the whole situation.
So it's not just like a motivational trick. What's going on in our brains when we make that tiny change?
Oh, there are actual neurological shifts. It's fascinating, really. By adding yet, we're basically turning on this part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
And that's the area responsible for all the good stuff, like planning, making decisions, problem solving. It's like that yet is kind of like a nudge to our brains to say, hey, get to work.
So it's like switching from feeling stuck to like actively looking for solutions.
Exactly. And there's another layer to this, too. Have you ever heard of psychoneuroimmunology?
Yeah. It's how our thoughts and emotions like actually impact our physical health, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. It's like this whole field that just shows how intertwined our minds and bodies really are. And research suggests that positive self-talk, like using yet, can actually boost our immune system, even help us manage stress better.
Wow, that is wild. I never really thought of it like that. Like, it's more than just like feeling good. It's like it's actually good for you.
Absolutely. And Laplace's Diamond, they do a really amazing job of explaining all this in simple terms.
Oh, totally. So to make it even more relatable, do you have like a personal example, like a story, a time where you saw the power of yet in action?
You know what? This takes me back, way back to when I was first learning piano. Like when I first started, oh, I was terrible, like really, really bad. I mean, I'd be sitting there, fingers fumbling all over the place. The notes were, well, not right. And I felt so discouraged, like, what am I even doing?
Yeah, I bet.
And I kept telling myself, I can't do this. But then one day I thought, I can't do this yet. And it was like something clicked.
Wow.
My whole mindset shifted. I was no longer just thinking about how bad I was thinking about how I could get better.
So it's not just about ignoring the problem.
Exactly. It's about recognizing it and then working towards a solution. So instead of getting stuck in the frustration, I broke the music down into smaller pieces, practiced those until I got them, celebrated the small wins. It took time, a lot of effort, but I got there in the end. I can play pretty decently now.
That's amazing. It's like it wasn't magic. It was just changing your mindset.
Exactly. It's the power of a growth mindset.
And yet is the key that unlocks that door.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, what's one thing you keep telling yourself you can't do? Take a second, think about it. Now add yet to that sentence. See how it feels.
It really changes things, doesn't it?
And the key here is to keep practicing this.
To make it a habit.
Yeah. Replace that I can't with not yet. And watch how your motivation, your perseverance just changes.
So it's not about pretending we're perfect. It's about acknowledging where we are, but also seeing the potential of where we can be.
Absolutely. And, take it one step further. What if instead of focusing on what you can't do, you start exploring all the things you haven't done yet?
That opens up so many possibilities.
Doesn't it? Like a whole new world of things waiting to be discovered. And who knows what you might find along the way.
Absolutely. That is food for thought for sure.
Yeah,
We'll see you on the next deep dive.
looking forward to it.